Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share my impressions of New York after my trip there last week. I haven't visited New York since my first time, which was around 5 years ago, and now that I feel a bit more settled in London, I do have my observations this time around, which I more or less did or did not sense from my previous visit. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about flight first. I flew with United Airlines for my trip to New York this time. It was the journey between London Heathrow and New York Newark Airport. The outbound journey was about 8.5 hours and the return journey was about 6.5 hours. I purchased the ticket through the United Airlines website from the Amex portal. So if you do not know this just yet, Amex and United Airlines are having this periodic travel offer which allows you to get £350 back if you spend more than £700 on the United Airlines website. And I was able to fly premium economy on the way out and economy class on the way back, which is really not bad because return journey is much shorter. The premium economy experience with United Airlines was actually great. The leg room comparing to British Airways or Virgin is slightly more comfortable, and you will also get this little treatment bag that includes some face cream, pressure socks, eye mask if you need it, and they have it. Another thing that I did like about my journey this time was because of the storm in the UK for the past weekend, my original flight was actually significantly delayed. And before heading to airport, I've received a notification on the United Airlines app, allowed me to change to a different flight next day without any fees. Because I was already worrying about whether the flight will take off as originally scheduled, so that allowed me to plan my trip effectively. That really reduced the hassle of me going to the airport, experience the delay, and have a huge disruption on my journey. Later on, United also offered a $100 voucher to fly with them again and apologize for the delay that has incurred. Overall, I did not experience that much hassle, and I do appreciate the compensation later on due to weather conditions. Side plug, the meals on United was really not bad, so overall, the premium economy experience was not bad. As someone who has been living in London for the past 3 to 4 years and have been lost at various areas in London, especially Soho or Shoreditch for various reasons, I found the road system in New York, especially on Manhattan Island, was very easy to follow. The island follows almost like a grid system where the two units that are mostly used are Avenue and Street. For someone like me who is new to the city, I found the road system really easy to adapt to because if you look up and you can see you're on 54th Street, although you do not really know where you are, but when you tell someone like an Uber driver or your friend to pick you up, they could easily locate you on that street. And I am not sure if it's my eyesight, but I find the road signs in New York relatively easier to read comparing to that in London. I'm not sure if it's because of the dark green color or because of the font, but the overhang road sign of Avenue and Street, it's just very easy to tell, especially when you're at the crossings. The infamous subways. My first time in New York was around 5 years ago, where I did feel New York subway was very messy, very crowded, with a very mix of people. This time around, I actually find New York subway fine until someone followed me through a carriage. I was minding my own business when I got on the train the other day, but this person already on the train was leaning on the door and was having this soft grin at me. I found it strange first, so I moved to a slightly quieter area of the carriage, but this person quietly followed and sat opposite me and still having that soft grin. So I pulled my cap down a little bit more, moved again after the next stop, and then he followed again. So that's when I feel a bit unsafe. When the train was held for some signaling issues, he just wobbly got off the train and then was half swearing, half mumbling. Although nothing happened after, it does remind me this unsafe feeling when traveling by myself in New York. So comparing to that, I think London Tube is great. Later on, when I spoke to my partner about this, he told me that traveling in New York, you need to have this sense of mission where you just head straight, look nothing around you, and then just go. And we also discussed it with our friends after, and they all agree with that statement. So I guess if you are a New Yorker, that's what you do. This maybe is an interesting topic to bring up. I was not expecting to notice such huge difference in the water quality between New York and London. However, when I had my first shower in New York, I can significantly feel the water was softer, which was quite surprising because I'm usually not the type of person who is very sensitive to these things. And when you drink tap water, it also tastes quite different from London tap water. And I guess the quality of water in New York is actually better. That's probably why they have better pizzas too. Food. You are probably not aware of this, but the East Asian food scene in New York is amazing. Apart from pizzas, burgers, and bagels, for 80% of my time in New York, I have been having Korean food, Chinese food, and Japanese food. I was really satisfied with all the places that I've visited, and they were all really good. It was probably because it was already filtered by my fiance, but some of them were even better than the local food that I had in that country. This actually aligns with my first visit to New York, where I felt the Asian food there is just amazing, or at least it's more of my taste. Especially in Chinatown, it really gave me the 80s, 90s vibe of how I grew up when I was 3 or 4 years old. I even saw the grandmas and grandpas playing this long card called Changpai, which I only remember seeing it when my grandmother was still alive. I was just so surprised to see them, and it just gave me immediate throwbacks. Also, you felt a bit more of a living feel when you visited the Chinatown in New York, whereas the Chinatown in London is more commercial. So on that sense, I felt Chinatown in New York, maybe clean wise, it was not as nice, but you can find some real gems in there. We went to this handmade dumpling shop with the sesame noodles. They were fantastic, and you can get 50 dumplings for $12. And you can get solid fillings, very thin wraps for the dumpling, which tastes really, really good. We also got takeaway dumplings even after having the second breakfast, so that's how good it was. I'll link all the places that I've visited here and then put those in the description box below. I highly recommend everyone to go, and I will put my favorite order in the description box below as well. Back to the little subway incident. General safety wise, I think for day-to-day living, it was not that scary. However, during our stay there, you will probably see the news where the United Health boss was shot. That street was only 6 blocks away from where we lived. To me, these things, what I described like what's happening in the movie. When I lived in London, I have zero concern of this, and when we saw the news, it was just still sort of surprising that how things like this still take place at this day and age. So my week in New York was actually really cold. We even saw snow for 1 or 2 days. Because the days were cold, I sort of noticed a trend in New York winter essentials, which is ear covers, mittens, and different shades of black. You have black coat, black skirts, black boots. It's really dark theme focused. Whereas in London, you will find various fashion styles during winter, partly because the winter in London rarely got to -5 degrees. Whereas in New York, I think during my week there, it was -4 or 5 for a few days, when you can really feel the temperature when you go out. However, I would say the sun in New York is amazing. When it's not raining, even though it's cold outside, you will see the blue sky when you look up, which is slightly better than the cloudy weather here in London. Although you can do 2 layers of down jacket, and I think that's absolutely fine, but I still prefer the temperature in UK in general because it's a bit milder throughout the seasons. This is an interesting observation. I generally found the people in New York or in US in general, at least for the people that I have met, they are more extroverted. They're more outgoing, and they express their feelings more expressively. You will hear loud laughs from the flight attendant on the plane, and then you will also hear people encouraging each other at the gym. I guess just sort of conversation wise, it's probably because the volume of the voice is a bit higher, so you will actually feel like the other person has more energy than you. It's probably a culture influence, but let me know if you think differently. I guess I had prepared for this prior to flying to New York. However, the price still did shock me a little bit. At cafes, a flat white was easily $7, and there was also $17 Subway for a foot-long regular sandwich. I remember clearly on the last day we went to a ramen place, which was great by the way. However, we had 2 ramens, 1 starter with the buns, and 1 chicken wings, and in total it was over $100. Probably need to budget your meal when you visit New York, but right now I think the New York spending level is the next level. That's it. That's almost all my impressions for New York this time around. I did enjoy my stay this time as well, just as the last time. I enjoyed the city, enjoyed the company, and very much enjoyed the food too. If you like this video, please give this a thumb up or share with your friends. And if you have any comments about London, New York in general, please let me know in the comment section below. The next video of mine will be back in London, and I will see you in the next one soon.